to you, maybe y'all can have some conversation. What I would like to do is to sort of repurpose and rethink and kind of create, 3 very focused, targeted groups in these areas. And that's where we're going to need different expertise, whether it's programmatic expertise or technology expertise. And, COLT may still need to have a role around some hardware and other types. I mean, there may be some but I'd like to focus those 3 with COLT, not putting them within COLT, but pulling this all together in that form. And then you all still very, very focused on technology policy, and there may be some other things that are very important, like hardware or general professional development or other things that are not going to be so focused and captured through those 3 areas. But that's just my thinking. And Sandra and Sharon Morrissey and I need to get together with some of our team back at the system office and kind of think this through and where we go next. But I'd like for you to share your thoughts, with Sandra and others about that as we move forward, because we don't have the bandwidth to focus on everything right now, so that's why it's very, very important that we put our bandwidth to where we think we have the greatest opportunity. And just from my feeble attempt and based on the innovative ideas, I've tried to suggest those are the areas that I see the greatest opportunity right now.
Ralls, 2 more things. You mentioned about SaaS, and I don't have, I'm sharing this from the perspective of what little I understand in that whole discussion there. I hope that there is more of a discussion in terms of analytics, less so much on the technology solution in itself. The reason why I say that is that I think a lot will come out of the MGLC grant, the Next Generation Learning Challenge, because a lot of the analytics are being called for, especially from the LMS perspective. And then the completion by design is also data analysis as well.
Yeah, and that's where, and one of the things you've got to help me with, because I've been saying this, we have got to bring together this SaaS opportunity with completion by design and those other areas really quickly, or we're going to miss a huge opportunity.
And that's my fear as well too, but my only concern is that SaaS is a particular vendor, and I would say from a technology perspective now, that my only concern would be, without knowing all the details behind it, is that already puts a little anxiety on my part, because there is no plugins for everything else that we already have from a technology standpoint.
I hear you.
And so there is a challenge that we bring forth back to the colleges
Yeah.
by saying we now need to introduce new technology and figure out how do we pull the data from the rest of the system, simply because we chose a technology that doesn't already have an integration with data or the LMS.
Right. No, I understand. I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
And then the third thing is I'm excited about the whole.
Now, the other thing too about in terms of choosing SaaS, we didn't really go out and choose SaaS. They came and chose us. They came to us and said, "Look, we're going to give you all this." So, and let's face it, SaaS is doing that because we're North Carolina and they care about North Carolina. One of the reasons. The other reason is because we're North Carolina and people watch us. If SaaS is successful in doing this work with us, they may not sell it to us, but they may have opportunities in the educational market other places. So.
Again, they learn from us at the same time.
Right.
And then in terms of student services, I'm very excited about that. And I know that 2 years ago we've been challenged to do something similar to that. We have introduced what's known as the steps to enroll process. And what we've been trying to do is trying to take either an airport scenario where we're trying to ask simple questions and then take it down a path.
Yeah.
The challenge we have, though, is that we have disparate technology all over the place. For instance, you mentioned about NC Mentor is CFNC.
Mm-hmm.
They have their own system. Web Advisor is another system for registration. And so we have, and financial aid.
Right.
And so when we're trying to tie all these together, and we've done that,
Yeah.
the problem is the students are seeing different
places. Yeah.
And so if there is an opportunity for us to be involved with that, because we've already done something similar to that,
Yeah.
but we need
Yeah.
cooperation of the other areas.
Well, and we've got to figure out we can't send people to multiple portals. We've got to figure out how to drive demand to a certain place. And one of the things that came out through Innovative Ideas, and I don't know, Mary Rittling's, who's part of the completion by design, but this was an idea too, in terms of common application. If you look at the applications where there are certain questions we can determine we need to be asking on the application certain questions, in terms of, do you want to be part-time or full-time? Do you want to go, there are a variety of different things. And so we need to, at least one place is we need to work through CFNC in terms of developing a common application. And there are other ways we need to do that. I think the last thing we need to do is take work that's happened in certain places and we just need to figure out how to integrate it and share it and move it forward. But what you're talking about is the same thing that we don't need to have. And to be honest, this has worried me a little bit about all the Gates initiatives that are out there, all the student success initiatives. You can't keep up with them without a scorecard. You know, I mean, I think it's a little nuts for every state and lots of places to all be redesigning developmental math. You know, if we were all just kind of hunkering down and developing things together, imagine what we could have. But we don't control everything. So, but maybe as 58 colleges, if we can kind of at least pull that and focus that energy. It's the same thing with like our teaching resources. Should we, you know, should we have, why should, if I'm a teacher and I want to access whatever I need that's available electronically, why do I need to go here or here or here? Is there not one place that can seamlessly help me get to where I need to go? And so we've got to be able to channel more people in that regard.